Hello, everybody. I hope all of you are doing well today. Sorry about the model and nature of my post yesterday, the two videos, but I really think it needed to be said, not about me, but about people in general, how we do present a facade of who we think the others want us to be so we get their approval or whatever it else that individual is looking for. We all know it. I don't do that on a personal level, and I never fudged my resume, but I did sell myself on my strong points to the company. A good example. I wasn't selling myself at all when I moved back here to Maine from Texas, but I just gave my resume out. When I would go into interviews, I managed to get two jobs in the time I was up here, but all the rest of the ones and they were only part-time jobs. All the other jobs, they'd look at my resume and say, you're overqualified. They wouldn't even bother to call Texas to verify that I did all the networking and configuration of the desktops to the mainframes at Mobile Oil when they moved from Carrollton to Pegasus Drive in Dallas. They didn't call First National Bank of Texas, Pearl Health Services, Murray Financial, and on and on and on. They wouldn't. They just look at it. No, you're overqualified. We're not going to hire you. I said, well, I'm hungry and I need to pay rent. If you hire me, I promise you I will give you my loyalty. I will not go to another job. Didn't matter. But when there's a lot of competition, I understand people need to sell themselves. But we shouldn't do that with people on a personal level. And that kind of brings me to the reason that I'm making this video. There's a gentleman that I'm friends with on Facebook. In his Eric Bergeron, and he's got a user account here. I can't remember what that username is right at this point. I should have corrected that. But if you come to Facebook and see my Facebook page, and it's, of course, Facebook user SKeene1956, capital S, capital K. Everything that I do here, as I've stated before, on YouTube gets posted to Facebook, as well as people who follow me on Twitter. And this is what he posted on here, and I think it's very appropriate, and I have to do this. Children going to bed without eating, and we know there's a lot of people here in America, a lot of children as well as adults that are going to bed hungry, and it's been going on for years. There's one company out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I can't think of the name right the minute. Like I say, this is a spur of the moment thing, and I'm not really prepared. But they take truckloads of food around the nation to people, and that's the only one I've heard of that does it. And 100% of everything they get goes to seeing that this happens. So let me continue with what he wrote. Children going to bed without eating. Elderly going without needed medicines. Now, here's another thing about the elderly. A lot of times they have to choose food or medicine. And when it comes to choosing about food, there's a lot of them that are put in the situation of dog food or regular food for just a little bit. So they choose the pet food so it will last them. Think about that. That's real. That's really going on. You can look this up and verify this. Would you want your elderly parents to have to eat pet food? Mentally ill without treatment. Troops without proper equipment. Yet we donate millions to other countries before helping our own first. 99% of people on Facebook won't have the guts to copy and repost this. Will you? Yes, I did. I replied to it. I don't have to repost it. It's on my page that he posted it to mine, and it's on my home page. But it needs to be addressed. And then when you really think about it, we've got over 200 military bases around the world. The logistics and the supplies and the cost, plus the money we give to these foreign countries to allow us to have our military bases there. The leaders, of course, who end up becoming millionaires. And that's the only reason that they do this, that they accommodate America's quest for empire. Okay, so here's a question for folks. What is the greatest resource we as a nation have? So I'm going to pause here for a second and have you think about that and answer it to yourself. I hope you come up with the same answer I do. The answer I come up with, that I've known all my life, the greatest resource this nation has is not something you can dig out of the ground. What makes America great is the people. People are the greatest resource. And I'm not talking about resources that you use and throw away. I'm talking about investing in people. Just think about how great this nation would be if, instead of all these trillions and trillions of dollars that we fritter away in our quest for world domination, instead was invested in education, health care, and social justice, and not just putting someone in some stupid little cage somewhere where they don't do anything. Find out why they're doing what they're doing. Rectify the problem. What's the big deal? And so what if you have to sacrifice a little bit? You'll get it back. You should do it just because it's the right thing to do. And that should be reward enough in itself. Forget about the material, the money as a reward. Do it because you want to help your country. Do it because you want your country to be good. But do it in a way that's different from what they're trying to ram down our throats. It's not right. It's about keep people that have the ability for empathy, to be able to feel for their fellow man, woman, child, and knowing, well, the right thing needs to be done. And we need to spread that around. And if we all start doing the right thing, others will start doing the right thing too. Hey, maybe if enough people do it, maybe I saw a movie a few years ago, Pay It Forward. Now I know it's fantasy, it's a movie, it's Hollywood, but the kid that was playing that part and the words he was given, I really, if I'm correct in my memory, was based upon a true story. That was his project. Pay it forward. To start helping others with no thought of reward to self. That's how you really affect change. Because it's the right thing to do, and it feels good to do the right thing to do. Yeah, you may get a temporary rush from doing something wrong or illegal, but that's just it. It's temporary. Myself, I'd rather have a lifetime of peace, contentment, well-being, and a supportive and loving environment. I think that's a goal worthy of trying to attain. Maybe we'll never see that, as it says in all religious scriptures, that we'll only see that when God and Jesus returns. I don't know. But we have the gift of free will. Should not we be trying to exercise it towards matter other than material possessions, the quest for more and better